timer for 4 minutes.
There's not so many of us. So 4 minutes, I mean, we can generally, if there's just a few people, have a little more time because then when we go around, it goes a lot quicker. And if there's a lot of people, then yeah.
I will set the timer for 6 minutes then. Hello, Nate. We are just jumped into the board, and the timer is up for 6 minutes. You still have 4 minutes left if you want to jump into it. 1 minute left. It seems we have slowed down, so we can start reading. How about you, Gideon? Would you like to read for us?
Yeah, sorry, I was just cramming in one more. Hold on just one
No
second.
worries.
So is that that's Matteo onboarded as dev for the ABC advanced page. Um, Gideon, shucks. Gideon's leadership within the sample working group has been amazing. That's nice. Feeling momentum around the TE services board, working name, not final. The pieces are coming together. The Polis results for stewardship in the TEC highlights sentiment and consensus points. Livia is back from vacation, was missed. Rodri's designs, token holder message posted to the forum. Nate taking lead on treasury. More Nate in the TEC, feeling less tired and more focused. Livia looking at cultural impact of token gating. Sorry, hold on just a sec. Started sending the message to hatchers. Things seem less chaotic and more organized. Sampo is taking shape. Sampo discussion thread keeps getting great posts. Token holder message is the kind of PR marketing we need more of. Good progress on consulting intake service ideation. Livia's back. First orientation call that was empty claimed that hour back. A lot more clarity on token gated channels after SoftGov discussion yesterday. Membership strategy and ideas are very strong. Nate did the Stewart's update last week. The voting stars in the shape of a hamburger. Okay, I need to understand what that is. Nate and Livia are back. Reward system feels steady. Ivy prepares the sprint agenda and the sprint board every single week without fail for 37 sprints now. Wow. Interesting Polis insights on stewardship. Unified treasury chart done. Edu covered 2 community calls and 1 working group meeting for SoftGov. I feel very supported. The poll Tam did for stewards was very insightful. Good conversations about TE membership. Zep's vacation Excel spreadsheet is great to see. And I think that's it.
All right. Would you like to share your initial thoughts? We will have 2 minutes for each one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it seems like, well, it seems obvious that Nate and Olivia have been very missed. That's very clear. Um, I think that, yeah, the Polis thing, a lot of comments on the Polis thing and the insights that came out of that, and Tam's leading that conversation. Let's see. Yeah, I
And
think.
also share how. Yeah.
What's that? Go ahead.
No, you can also share how did you feel this past 2 weeks, if you feel like.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that reminder. Yeah. I mean, I feel like things are starting to kind of accelerate. Like it feels like there's traction happening on multiple on many fronts, and it also like I can feel a lot of synergy building between working groups that maybe I just didn't detect as much before, but like maybe I wasn't close enough to it, but it feels like there's more synergy coalescing around certain things like for instance the membership thing and the token gating thing, and they're just there seems to be like synergy and a lot of integration that's starting to happen. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I will pass to Mert.
Yeah, the highlight of last sprint probably was Sampo is actually going interesting. Like there's lots of discussion going on. I would really like. I'm really curious about how will be the first action for like the strategies. So on that matter, I think everything is going well. Like Nate has been also taken part of the job, so that's I feel like that's one of the positive of the last sprint. And also in general, I feel like even though there's like bad market condition, lots of discussion about financial, etc. The community is kind of growing, so that's also that's what I thought about last sprint, and I would like
Would you mind?
Zepti.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, for me, like this, the most exciting thing is like the advanced page is getting shape. Like Matteo is getting on board. Product design are almost finished. It's looking very, very good. And then, yeah, like of course, like Nathan and Livy are amazing and back. And I wanted to clarify, like the sheet is not mine. I just copy pasted from someone else in the com stack. And yeah, I'll pass it to Tam.
Before passing on to Tam, welcome Maki C to the Sprint Retrospective. We are going through, if you can see the share screen, we're going through a Scrum board where we are currently dialoguing about what went well in our latest sprint. So after we finish the round, if you have any question, please let me know. Back to you, Tam.
Retrospective board, which is part of the Scrum framework. And it's where we spend some time to reflect on the things that went well, things that could have been done better, and then to brainstorm some actions to the things that could have done better. Keeps us adaptive, transparent, and in that introspective state of mind. Okay, did I use up all my time? Okay. I feel super excited personally about where this token engineering, I'm going to call it shilling point services, because I really love that name from Gideon. But I'm started to sort of coalescing around this idea of like a services board is going. I think there's, I just think there's so much potential, and there's, I feel a lot of energy. I feel very energized. So I hope, I hope that this continues to have the same kind of momentum that it did this week. Was in particular what I thought was like a launching pad for this concept to take shape. And of course, like really happy that Nate's starting to come more and more back, I'd say. And Livia, of course, it's really nice when she comes back, when she's back from vacation. I like, Zep shared the ABC designs, which those are looking really nice. I think it'll be really nice for Token Engineering Commons to have that, some more insight into the ABC. I'm not going to take on up any more time, actually. So I'll pass to Livia.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt very warm and loved with all the comments on the board. Thank you. And I also feel excited of the direction Sampo is taking, and just all of the things that are kind of grounding with that. It feels like Sampo was a core piece that is bringing other work that was kind of floating around into a network of things that need to be connected to happen. So I started drafting the reputation thing this week based on things I was hearing about the membership and some solutions Sampo was thinking. And then we talked about the token gated thing. And there's a lot, it feels like a lot of interesting things are surfacing, and they wouldn't be if Sampo wasn't there. So that feels really good. And also about Ivy consistency, I thought about this today. When I saw the stewards kindly update your slides, I'm like, oh my God, this is, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ivy. And I'll pass to well, did somebody that didn't just arrive not go? Did Nate go?
Yeah, Nate.
Not yet. Thank you, Livy. So 3 things that really stood out to me during the sprint and that I just want to mention here is, Tam, your public use of the advice process has been absolutely phenomenal to watch. I think it sets a really good example, and we don't get really many opportunities to do this kind of community-wide advice process. And the way that you have performed it and using Polis and all of these other new tools really set the example for that. And I just really appreciate watching that. And then second is Edu. Your leadership in this past sprint has been phenomenal. I mean, you've done such an amazing job stepping up to all these different working groups. And then the third is the Sampo working group and Gideon. I appreciate all the things that you've done in terms of just kind of getting everybody aggregated into a single vision, and so it goes a long way. And so I think those are the 3 major highlights of this past sprint that I've seen so far. And I will pass it over to Makiz Zai. If you would like to participate in the sprint retrospective, anything that you've looked at these past couple weeks that you're impressed with, please do share.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for having me. Basically, I'm new here, so I'm currently observing a lot, so nothing much to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Makisi. And if at the end of the call or during the call you have any question about the things that are being said, please let us know. And with that being said, I will pass it on to Shui.
Thank you, Edu. I was still loading the the retrospective board because I wanted to read through all of this, but didn't make it on time. However, I really want to echo what Nate mentioned about the efforts that Edu, Tam, and Gideon have been just putting into the community and through this phase. And yeah, I feel that we're starting to like be a little bit like more I don't know if efficient is the word, but maybe we're starting to be like a little bit motivated based on the current situation, which demonstrates a lot of our capacity to evolve and adapt. So I feel that's overall what really stood out for me in this sprint. And I'll pass it back to you, Edu.
Thank you. On my case, I felt that a lot of the conversations that we have had on the past 2 weeks were kind of energizing, and there is this granular capacity that we have achieved through time, I feel, and then the conversations gets like very to the point and very productive, even if they are short. And I have become more aware of this lately. And for me, what went well is this click that we made with Gideon on last Friday regarding membership and how it could be achieved. And actually, the idea of having this concept of membership being deployed in other communities. You can only have a member if that member agrees to whatever is important to our community and make that a process. So that for me became sort of like a light at the end of the tunnel, or a lighthouse, if that's because there is no tunnel, but a lighthouse on the road. So that for me was something very interesting, and I couldn't have get or find the conclusion if it was without the collaboration of Gideon and this work that we have been working on. So for me, that was something quite energizing. All right. With that being said, we can move to the next part. Could do better. You all know how it goes. So 6 minutes and timer is on.
Is it correctly loading for everyone? It's just like doesn't seem to load for me. It just hangs.
It loads
Good
for
on
me.
my side.
Coding for me. I'm
I think
gonna
it's-
drop.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna drop the URL in the stewards channel. Do you want to make sure it's just not the old board?
If not, Shui, you can just on the chat that is on the right of this channel, you can just share what your version, and then I can or send it to DM. I can copy and paste it on the board if it doesn't load for you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Edu, because I'm also trying to access like the main Miro dashboard, and it just any other side won't load. But yeah, I'll DM them to you. Thank you so much.
No worries. Hello, Craig. We are on the retrospective board on my screen, if you can see it. And we are going through what could do better. Feel free to add anything you feel like.
Thanks, Edu.
Two minutes left. All right. Time's up. Hello, Mitch. We are about to go into reading what could do better for this retrospective. So get ready for thinking about those things. Tam, would you like to read for us?
Yes, I would love to. Zero engage on the forums for crucial topics. This is fun. I never get to do this. This is so great. Our focus is not only on essentials yet. We should get in front of the need for it to be. Between market conditions, TEC conditions, and summer vacations, there is a slowness that I think we are unfamiliar with. Great time to build. It feels like we are in an awkward and painful transition moment until token engineering picks up. More discussions on token thaw and the potential impacts for TEC economy. Better communication around sample expectations and risks associated with treasury management. More partnerships, more integration of TEC and other communities. Not conveying the long-term expectations of the TEC. This is a process. How many stewards are on this call? It's voluntary work now. Working groups are compensating stewards. That was a short thread. Stewards offboarding feels delicate. Noticing how many token engineers are actually engaging here in TEC. Sorry, how few token engineers. Second comment on that, not making progress in understanding why. Not sure we're fully digesting the economic challenges we face, +1. TE fundamentals is something still down the road, and we're not attracting enough TEs to our community. Some processes seem to lack speed. Would love to find more engagement outside of the same 20 people. We need better ways of recruiting and retaining various forms of contributors. We are doing work that have a high chance not to We are doing work that have high chance to not pass, doing very little amount of advice process with hatchers. Feels like calls could be shorter and optimized, but don't really know how to propose change. Hard to find hatchers on Discord sometimes. Better communication of our core value propositions. Ask more often, how are we? Stewards, we're not engaging with each other's issues as much as we used to. Wish the TEC could be more dynamic and permissionless. What is missing? Vote on the covenant. Back to you, Laura.
All right. Would you like to start, Tam? Commenting on this?
It's funny because after you read, it's usually hard to be the first to start because you don't really always hear when you read, but I'll go. Yeah, maybe can I go after? A few people go?
I can take it now.
Go ahead, Septi.
Yeah, I really want to mark on this share engagement on the forums on crucial topics. Like, I really was talking about what's the real goal of the reward system, and target a lot of people that should be involved, but no one is giving answers. And then some people say, and then in the calls, like some people say one thing, and then others say are expecting others. And I feel like we are not using our tool like it's the forum, and everything should be there. And then yesterday, like we were doing some work in the treasury thing, and then since the forum seems like there's not enough engagement, I was doing some research what people feel like it's a safe token, and then I really had the feeling of the core contributors that says like even just stay die, don't touch IBC, and it seems like we're doing work that from what I saw in the chats, like it seems like it's not even going to pass. So I don't know. Like it feels like we should first get clarify what we want to do, advice process, then do, not the other way around. I'll pass it to Livy.
Thanks, Zach. It feels like a lot of our problems are attached to the state of token engineering at the moment. And then it feels like an awkward wait game that we have to play because there's like education catching up, more people coming into the field, and it feels like the people who are getting into this educative process would then be so grateful. I mean, it'd be so great for our community, but that we're in this like awkward time. I don't know if we have so much to do now. There's probably things we can prepare for, but then how to deal with this phase where we don't have that much money, we don't have that much people, and we have a lot of contributors wanting to participate. And I'll pass to Mark.
Thank you, Livia. Yeah, like as you said, so I understand most of the concerns regarding like token engineers are not very engaged with the community, but again the question arose like who is the token engineer, and like it's a very new field, and I think there's very few people that you can just pinpoint as like token engineers. So that's another problem. Maybe it's not a problem per se, like, but it's a problem that we may try to solve through funding common public groups that may help people to become a token engineer. But my like the most biggest concern is that like I don't know what will be the long term expectation from the TC, and like okay, yeah, we will be discussing new strategies for uh, fundraising, but how they will change the structure of TC, like will it be more like a service DAO-ish uh, structure? So my main like concern is that like understanding those things so that I can I I think people will may have more engagement once we clear out those things as well. Like as like I'm just talking from my own perspective, but I assume many people may think similar too.
Will you pass it to
Sorry,
someone?
before I finish, like I can, yeah, I'm lagging. So I want to pass it to Nate.
Thanks, Mert. Yeah. So I guess two things. The first thing is at one point early on in our organization, we had this conversation around who is a token engineer, and for the most part, we were surrounded by consensus that almost everybody in this room I would consider a token engineer, and we don't treat it that way, and our language has somehow shifted, and what we mean by token engineer is developers. And I think that is a really important thing to highlight, in my opinion, because I think we take ourselves for granted in our ability to speak on the token engineering field and what we can contribute, even if you're not a developer. If it's developers that we need, and smart contract developers in particular, then that's a different story, and we should change our language in terms of how we communicate this idea. And so I just wanted to point that out. And the second thing is things that we can do better in terms of Sampo, is in my opinion, is to really convey that the initial talks around this topic were Sampo is going to be kind of the saving grace, or going to help rescue the TEC economy in the short term. And I think this is a very dangerous language to use, and it's not realistic to do. It has a lot of risk associated with it. There's a lot of processes that need to be hashed out, and this is something that it's going to take time, and it's not something we can move fast on. And for the large portion of the community that expects this to have speed and to be executed on and to generate revenue in the short term, we need to manage those expectations, in my opinion. And so those are the two things that have hopped out in my mind. And I'll pass it over to Edu.
Thank you, Nate. I will pass it back to Mitch.
Wow. Where do we start? We're unpacking probably 6 months of conversation, in this call. And yeah, I mean, the lack of token engineers becomes evident because we see this stuff happening in the TEA and we're like, oh, we should be doing that. And then it's not happening. We don't have CAD modelers. We don't have data scientists like in mass. We kind of we're outsourcing stuff to LTF, to the Token Engineering Academy, and then we realized that's kind of the stuff that we wanted. So when we come to the discussion of funding and then we realize we don't have any products or services or utility, we've got giant administrative bloat that we're sending out as stipends to stewards. And we're not really sure what we're doing or what we're creating value for. And, this is where all this shit starts coming out. And there's just so many things in here that resonate with me, but I think there was a lot of oversights in the beginning that are coming to slap us in the face now. And I don't really know how to get into anywhere specific, or I don't know if this is the right time for it, but yeah, this is the general overall sentiment, and it's not great. So I'll pass it back to Edu.
Thank you. How about you, Gideon?
Yeah, this is a super interesting conversation. I really resonate with what Nate is saying, and actually with what you're saying too, Mitch. I guess where I would start is I'm not sure that we fully have grasped just the urgency of the economic situation that we're in. Like, this is like we are facing a difficult time, and I actually have huge faith. We're going to get, like, the TC is still going to be around, and it's going to be great, right? But this is going to be a tough time, and to Nate's point, I think, like, I feel a ton of pressure to, like, hurry up, let's get, like, where's the money, and it just doesn't work that way, right? And we were talking specifically about treasury management. Like, there's all these expectations of, like, hey, we can get 20%, 10% yield, and we'll get this. And, it's like, no, that comes with risk. And there's all of these things that have to be thought through so that we don't end up destroying the treasury that we do have. So, with that said, I think that there are things that we can do, and I think one of the things that is going to be really important. It feels like there's a lot of weight on too few shoulders in this community right now. Like, figuring out ways where we can start to kind of like co-opt some of the community organizing models that are out there, because we're going to be going into some tighter budgeting times, and so how do we really do a good job of engaging volunteers? There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be looking for things to do, interesting things to do in the coming months and probably the coming year. So, looking for ways of engaging those people and really sharing the load and doing that well, I think is going to be very important. Yeah, I'll stop there. I will pass to.
Gideon, can I say something regarding what you just shared?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like, I was suggesting on the rewards post, like, even if we get, like, all the stewards are all paid people are getting enough rewards, and then the reward system is distributing rewards that just adds to the value. And I was thinking, like, maybe if we just stop giving rewards to the people who's already getting paid, this would be interesting. So new people is getting paid, and it would cost the same as it is right now for the TC, and it could be like actually a pretty good paid if we remove all the paid people getting paid twice. And it would be very nice for the TC to engage with more people at the same cost.
So then, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna build on this.
Yeah, I think that's probably, I also have some thoughts specifically about that idea. I would not support it, but I don't know that this is maybe the perfect time to do it. We have about 17 minutes left.
Yeah, and Shui is still left to go. So let's honor that. And if we have time left after the last selection starts, we can talk about this. Shui, would you like to go?
Yeah, thank you, Edu. I have a number of concerns that I'm asking myself if I should like share them at this point, because I also like can't think of any solutions other than patience, or like maybe we still need to have a conversation about how like flexible we are, like going through these times, because I mean, I'm in a very like specific position for like my working group and how the stewarding is working there. And I mean, I'm willing to do a number of options because I'm interested in this. And also, I'm confused because at this point, I feel like that's like a big part of what I can do to like lift some weight off Sampo's shoulders. And I do agree with Gideon that there's a lot of weight on very few shoulders at this point. So yeah, probably many concerns around those factors. But I'll pass it back to you, Edu.
Thank you. Craig, do you have something to add to this conversation before I go?
No, thanks.
I will.
Yeah, sorry. Listening,
Okay.
fascinating, but I've been so disengaged. I'm just trying to listen to all your brains, and yeah, it seems like there's an inflection point here, and it'll be interesting to see how things evolve. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. So we can start with the last part.
Wait, I didn't have a chance to go.
Oh yeah, sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
That's okay. I mean, there's a bunch of things that resonate with me too. I guess the two things I want to share is I think the most important thing here is the one that says, "I'm not sure we're fully digesting the economic challenges we face." I think that is a hard thing to face, but needs to be addressed and faced. And I think focusing on things that are essential for TEC is probably something we need to start sooner rather than later and be proactive rather than reactive. And then second, around, this idea of not having enough token engineers, or we're waiting for fundamentals to have more token engineers. I appreciate what Nate said as well, but I also think we should set our own expectations. What are you expecting? What have you done to include token engineers in our community? Especially if you're a steward. So I think that there's a little bit of, rather than just saying, oh, we don't have enough token engineers, we don't have enough token engineers, being a little bit, aware of what your expectations are, our expectations are, and what actions we're taking. Also, I think, the token engineering commons, having token engineers is definitely a bonus, but and token engineering projects, and the initiative that Angela and Livia have with the governance is really important in the token engineering project, and some of the ideas that YGG is working on with the CAD/CAD community could be another interesting opportunity. But maybe we should be a little more responsible then if this is something we've been saying since forever, right? So maybe we should all take some responsibility to change that. Pass back to you, Eduardo.
All right. So actions to improve. Thoughts. 4 minutes, and then pick the actions to improve. Do you want to say something, Tim?
No, sorry, I just didn't mute. I apologize.
1 minute left. Thumbs up. All right. Mitch, would you like to read for us?
Sure. TEC gated channels. Coordinate with block science and token spice communities to bring modelers into the TEC and give them a platform. Praise token engineers. If a TEC tokenomics study circle started, I'd have some ideas to share. How can we replicate give praises success with our next tool, the proposal inverter? Oh, I can't see that because Zep's thing is blocking it. Add contributor factor to rewards distros. Bring LTF into praise/reward system. Thought experiment, if TEC has no funds left, what does that look like? Push more our best service, praise. Plans for encouraging TE fundamental students to join the TEC. Everyone think of one action to engage with TEC. Build cool tools like we used to. TEC never built tools. Visit our local universities. Common Swarm and Params were not TEC. I don't get it. We need a list of resources to help someone understand token engineering. This question is, who is a TEC, who is not? Seems stagnant now. Start developing partnerships with mission-aligned projects. Define TEC membership and implement processes to support it. Explain what a minimal viable TEC might look like as exercise in what matters most. Ask yourself, does this bring revenue into the TEC before doing it? More conversations with TE professionals. We have to own the TEC and carry the message outside the TEC. Let's use the forum for governance proposals, and let's refocus using Discord as a debate place. TE Academy have a product, we have a community, processes. Let's stop dividing efforts, let's join again. Tokenomics Exploration Series.
All right, everyone. Pick a star and pick your favorite one. And we have 7 minutes left. So, does anyone want to start? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'll take it.
Go ahead.
These ideas about like the tokenomics exploration series and like a study group or something like this, I feel could be a good idea. It's just like lately I've been just like exploring a lot into like tokenomics myself. I mean, I don't consider myself a token engineer, but I take what Nate was mentioning, that in a way, because we're all here, we maybe are in a much better position than the average person outside the community to, like start to experiment. So I feel that this is something that we already have, like the community and our experience. And maybe we could explore this and just like advertise it as it is, like tokenomics conversations within the TEC. So in case anybody asks, we can send them there and start from there with what we have. I feel that's a cool idea. Yeah, those are my 2 cents. I'll pass it to whoever wants to take it is fine. I don't know if more people have something to say.
What does add? I just have a question. What does add contributor factor to rewards distribution mean?
Oh, that was an idea that I put in the open discussion for the reward system.
So I think I would say, sorry, unless you want to say anything else about that, Mitch. I think that's what Zep was saying too.
What's that?
That's what Zep was suggesting earlier today too.
Yes, but less dramatic.
Okay. Okay. So I guess what I want to say is I love this idea of the minimal viable TEC. Like, okay, we're going to hit a point where we don't have funds. So if we look at what that looks like now, we'll have an idea of what's going to happen to us in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, a month, 2 months. So I think that's something we should do with urgency for sure. I think the TEC and TEA community are tightly aligned and getting closer. So I'm not sure I understand this one. Well, in principle, I agree for it. I think it's already happening. And I guess the other thing I would say is, what is the other ones? Yeah, that's it. It's just I think us now understanding what it's going to look like when funds are not flowing is of crucial importance. Maybe that's just the most important thing to me. And I'll pass back to you, Eduardo.
I will say, yeah, I feel we're trying to solve a token engineering / financial situation without not necessarily the right tools to do it. And that's why my suggestion to refishing with Token Academy is there, because I feel we have a community, I feel we have processes, and they have the people, and they have very specific knowledge that could help us directly. So I feel it's just a matter of, taking the next step and just acknowledge our weakness and see how we can improve them. So that's a little bit of explanation of join the efforts. It's not about partner. It's goal beyond partnership. We are aiming at the same thing. The academy is aiming at the same. If you all see the expectation of Angela for the next time, for the next period of time, she's expecting us to vision again. And we are sort of on the edge of hesitation, and for me, it's a clever thing to do. Anyways, does anyone else have something else to say regarding this? 5 or anything else? 4, 3.
I wanted to comment
Go
on the. I wanted to comment on the on what Nate was saying, that are we token engineers and are not. I have a feeling that this discussion has developed into so many ways, and I just wanted to resonate what Mitch said, that I think we don't have enough hard skills of token engineering here, of people doing simulations, of data scientists that are willing to collaborate based on the incentive structures that we have. So unless Common Stack or another institution is paying for work, we don't have like a community of token engineers. And I feel like the resources we have are more like soft skills, token engineering, and we could do a better job on balancing that out. And there's a lot of resources out there that I feel like most of us haven't read yet, and understanding like what does it go into, like each petal of the token engineering flower and all that stuff. So I think promoting Omega library would be like a really good, powerful thing to do.
All right. We are on top of the hour. We'll have 1 minute left. I think the winner here is Token Economic Exploration Series. I think it's a winner in this case. So Tam, that's up here in your alley. So you pick that one. Or
I don't know. This star, whose star is this? It seems like it might also be like there's just 3 with 2 stars. But it looks like a lot of stars haven't voted. A lot of people haven't put their 2 stars down.
yeah, I asked for only 1, so that's why they only put 1.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I put 2.
Yeah, the tough times, Tam. We got to reduce the amount of stars we're handing out.
We're going lean. We're going lean on stars.
Can't be just giving these stars out, you know.
Okay,
All right, guys.
Stars. I would say it's probably Token Exploration Series, TD Academy, and Minimal Viable Product have 2 stars. We don't count stars that are like on a bunch of different Post-it notes because, well, then it's impossible to know which one. Thanks, Eduardo, so much.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice Thursday. See you later on. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.